of his child, preschool teacher Sharon Callaway, for filing false police charges. Sharon is countersuing, also for false charges and harassment.
Yeah, this is case number 148 on the calendar in the matter of Walker versus Callaway. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Walker, you and the defendant had a relationship of sorts. You have a child together, and according to you, she filed an application for an order of protection against you in which she made some false allegations. You want to be compensated for the false allegations, time away from work, your humiliation, et cetera, et cetera. Right. The defendant says that what she says was true, that she was not granted ultimately an order of protection after a trial because there wasn't enough evidence, and that she is counterclaiming because she says that you have filed numerous reports about her with Child Protective Services and the police, and they were all lies. So she's counterclaiming. Okay. How old is your child?
She's 8 years old.
Did the two of you ever live together?
No.
Do you have visitation regularly with your daughter?
Yes.
So when was the last time you saw your daughter?
I saw her the Saturday before Father's Day, the last time I saw her.
Why is that?
I live 2.5 hours away, and I drive up there to see my daughter. And until that, I won the case on April 24th because she had filed order of protection through her allegations of me of harassing her. She would not let me see my daughter, and they gave her an order of protection.
Ms. Callaway, I want you to tell me why you filed an application for an order of protection.
Because he harassed me on the phone.
Well, tell me what he did.
He called me on my phone at one time. He told me, "You owe me." That was in November of 2001.
When did you file an application for an order of protection?
After the second harassment on the phone, which was in September 18th of 2002.
So a year later, he did something else to you. And what did he do a year later?
He called me on the phone and told me that he called the police and they were coming to get me and he was coming to take my daughter. So I got tired of that and
Just a second.
Okay.
Did he tell you why?
Yes, he told me I was a drug dealer.
That was on September 18th?
Well, September 16th, and I filed the papers on September 18th.
I'd like to see the papers that you filed.
Yes.
And that's what he said to you, Ms. Callaway.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That he's tired of dealing with you, that you were a drug dealer, he called the police, and he's going to come and take your daughter from you.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let me see the application that you filed. Let me see it, please. It doesn't say anything about that in your application for an order of protection, Ms. Cowley. It says that on or about September 17th, this is what you say in your petition. You say that he arrived at your home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He wanted to see his daughter, and he made belittling remarks about you in front of your daughter. He called you a stupid... You didn't say that just now. You told me a different story. You told me he called you on the phone.
He did.
Well, that doesn't say that here.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
That's when I went down to car and we had to go back to court.
Are you not following what I'm saying to you? I asked you, why did you feel as if you were in fear of the petitioner so that you should file a petition for an order of protection? You told me about 2 dates. You told me about November of 2001 and September 16th, 2002, both of which were telephone calls. That's what you told me.
Well, I had been upset because he called me quite a few times, and when he came to visit my daughter, he had sent the police to my house. And what made me fear him is because he told me he had a gun in his car under his front seat. He told me about how he was going to hurt his first children's mother, and that's what made me feel as though I had to file an order of protection against him. And
the judge threw out the case?
Yes.
Rightly so. You're giving me a lot of who shot John. You abused the system. You were getting even with him for something. Is there a case involving custody and visitation in 2002?
Yes.
May I speak?
Yes.
In the 2002 custody case, I went for custody of my daughter. She has a 26-year-old son there who sells drugs. I tried to get custody of my daughter due to that issue right there. He's been in boot camp, and he's also been in jail for selling drugs. When he was 16, I asked her to let me put her son in the Job Corps. She says no. I said, "You'd rather have your son selling drugs than be in a Job Corps?" And she actually said, "I'd rather have him here." I said, "But he's selling drugs." 2 weeks later, he got busted because it was a shootout.
Mr. Walker,
and what
what
happened
to the custody case?
She never even showed up to court. Here's the paper right here. I highlighted it for you. She never even showed up to court. It's right there. And the order, it's right in the order. And
Just a minute.
some.
I assume that the law guardian advised the judge that the child should remain with her mother. Is that right?
Yes, but there's some extreme circumstances that I need to clear up. I was a paralegal for this responsible fatherhood program. I caught a judge in Rochester lying on me, and a deputy chief clerk, and also a cop lying on me. So I filed with the FBI, the Inspector General's office, and 3 other federal agencies. And it's like a blacklist on me. That's why I moved away from Rochester to Elmira, because they put like a blacklist on me in regards to employment in Rochester due to me catching this judge lying on me. They used her as a tool to get after me. I've never threatened her. She knows I never did anything to her.
For the first 6 years of your daughter's life, did you have regular visitation?
Yes, I did. And her son was in jail. When he got back out of jail, I drove up to her house, and she lives in an area where they sell drugs right at the street corner. I'm looking at him coming off the street corner selling drugs. I tried to get my daughter out of it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I believe that your son has been in serious difficulty involving drugs.
He wasn't, though, Judge Judy.
I don't believe you, madam.
Does he have a police record?
I don't believe you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Donnell Walker says the mother of his child, Sharon Cowley, filed false charges with the police. Sharon says he threatened to use a gun.
All right. I think that she lied in order to get an order of protection, sir. I do.
Judge Judy, may I speak, please?
Sure.
Now, he knows that I'm not lying. What made me fear him the most, he hit a policeman's son in the face with a basketball.
What does that have to do with you?
It made me nervous because he kept coming to my house threatening me.
Listen to me.
Miss
Cowley, I was very, very clear, madam. I said to you, when you filed your application for an order of protection, you filed it for reasons. I want you to tell me the reasons that you filed a petition for an order of protection. And you said 2 things. One happened in November of 2001, and that was a phone call. And the next thing that happened was another phone call where he said to you, I'm going to call the police, and I'm going to come and get my daughter. That you considered a threat. And then you add this stuff about guns. Now, to me, if I asked a person why they felt threatened, they would have said to me right away, he threatened me with a gun. That might have caught my attention, but that's not what you said. Right. So I believe that you were using the court system, which fortunately did not grant you an order of protection, because I think if you had an order of protection against him, you would have abused it. And I'm awarding him $1,000 on his application. Now I'm going to hear your cross-complaint.
Okay.
You say he's called the police on you and your family on numerous occasions.
Yes.
Okay? Tell me about that, Miss Cowley.
Okay. Okay, Judge Judy, now, the 3 times that he's come to see my daughter, he's called the police on me.
What do you mean he's called the police on you?
He's just called the police on me for nothing.
What does that mean? You mean they've come with him?
He's called them before he's come to my house.
And done what?
Tell them that I'm a drug dealer and he has to get my daughter out of the house. And he would have a problem getting her out of the house for visitation.
Are you telling me that he comes to the house with a police officer in order to pick up his daughter?
Yes.
He's allowed to do that.
What? But
he's allowed to do that because what he says is, I'm not going there without a police escort because I don't trust her.
Yes.
I don't trust her, A, not to create trouble, to say I bothered her or harassed her, and B, I don't trust her not to give me my daughter for visitation. So I'm going to ask the police to come with me. He has an absolute right to do that.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a right to harass me.
How is he harassing you? You haven't told me how he's harassing you.
By sitting the police there all the time for nothing when he's come before and pick her up with no problem until he had to go to court.
Give me a time when he called police when he did not come himself.
Oh, I have it marked on the calendar. He called them 3 times on me. All of these are no-shows where he did not come for his visit, starting from the beginning when we went to court.
Well, tell me what the police said when they came to your house.
When they came to the house, they came in and said that he called the police because he said gushes of marijuana smoke was coming out the door. We don't smoke in my house because my daughter has chronic asthma.
Where was your son?
He doesn't live with me.
Where was your son?
He wasn't there.
Has your son ever been incarcerated for drugs?
No, he hasn't, Judge Judy.
I don't believe that.
Well,
I don't believe that.
well,
I don't believe that.
He hasn't been locked up for drugs or anything.
Really?
Really?
Never been involved with drugs?
He wasn't in drugs. He was sent to Willard for smoking drugs. That's what he wasn't. He says that he was selling drugs.
Callaway, you have no case. He's entitled to say this child was not living under good circumstance.
Well,
he has an absolute right to do that. And I'm going to tell you something else. I don't know why you've waited so long, sir. I don't know what kind of investigation they did with regard to the home situation. I assume that I'm speaking. I assume that in Monroe County, they send out an investigator to do an investigation of both homes. I can only hope it happens. But I will tell you now, this case was not heard before a family court judge. It was heard before a referee because it was a default. It was her default because she didn't show up.
Right.
Now, you have the ability to file objections to this hearing officer's report.
I will be filing it when I get back to Rochester.
Well, I suppose that's a good idea. In any event, your counterclaim is dismissed, Ms. Callaway.
Judge Judy, may I speak? This was from a judge. This is where they gave me custody of my daughter after Child Protective came out.
I'm not talking about custody of your daughter, madam. I believe that your son has been in serious difficulty with the law involving drugs, that there was drug use in the house with your daughter present. That's something that a father can be concerned. Don't say no when the answer is yes.
He wasn't, though, Judge Judy.
I don't believe you, madam.
Does he have a police record?
I don't believe you. I believe that your son was doing drugs in the house, not selling them. I didn't say selling them. You said smoking them.
Judge Judy, I have a paper right here where he accused me and my son and my daughter of being drug dealers.
Well, how do I know that that's not true?
But because the Child Protective came to my house 3 unannounced times to find out if it was true.
And I want to tell you something. They couldn't find that if they came to your house 30 times to find out if you were selling drugs in your house. If you didn't want them to find out that you were selling drugs in the house, I don't want to hear it.
Judge.
Madam, he has the right, understanding that your son was a drug abuser, to question whether or not that house was a safe environment for his child. You do not have the right to, based upon the fact that you were annoyed, file an application for an order of protection without basis. You did that. I am awarding him $1,000 on his complaint, and I am dismissing your cross-complaint for him filing police reports and asking them to do an investigation as to whether or not there was drug activity in the house where his 8-year-old is living. I think that that was appropriate.
It's not
Goodbye.
true. He's a liar. If he was so concerned about me selling drugs in my house, why didn't he come visit her more often?
I had to go to court to just to see my daughter, and before I would just pick her up.
Sometimes truth doesn't really come out.
What's going to happen? My daughter's going to grow up and see for herself that her mother's a liar.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Krawczykowski versus Suggs. Step forward, please.
United States Marine Joseph Krawczykowski is suing his ex-girlfriend, 26-year-old lease administrator Amy Suggs, for her share of a credit card debt.
Mr. Krawczykowski, you claim that the defendant, who is your former girlfriend, owes you for some credit card debt.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant says that, yes, in fact, she did agree to pay half of the credit card debt that the two of you had accumulated while you were together, but then she had second thoughts about it after she made some payments, and she feels as if she should not have to pay that because she was sort of pressured into making the agreement. Is that your defense?
Not exactly.
Well, what's your defense?
There were extenuating circumstances when we separated, and I feel like I was taken advantage of in the situation. Not necessarily that I just decided I didn't want to make payments anymore.
Well, let's start with the fact that the two of you lived together.
Yes.
And that you had this credit card that had built up how much in debt, sir?
When we separated, it was at $6,500 and some change, ma'am.
And you agreed to split that debt in half?
Yes, ma'am, we
Is
did.
that correct?
Yes.
And you separated when?
About the 20th of July of 2002, ma'am, or of January.
20th of January?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did make payments up until March of 2003?
Correct.
And then stopped?
Right.
Okay, now explain why.
When we separated, I was in a situation when I was in North Carolina with my son, an 8-year-old, by myself. Joe had made reference several times to being in relationships before where everything had been taken away from him. I needed to get out of the relationship, and I was concerned that when we separated, it wouldn't be as easy as I wanted it to be. Not only was I alone in North Carolina, but I had no friends there to help me in my situation. When the discussion came up about us separating, I agreed not to take anything with me that he would have to replace, and I agreed to pay half of the credit card.
What do you mean you agreed not to take anything that he would have to replace?
Well,
what did you take with you?
I took my son's bedroom furniture, my personal belonging, my clothing, some extra dishes.
You took dishes. Go ahead. What else?
And I believe I took a hope chest, a cedar hope chest.
Anything else that you took, sir?
She took the computer and also a china hutch for the kitchen.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, yes.
You left the computer out, and you left the china hutch out, right?
Right.
Was the computer purchased on the credit card?
It was purchased on a totally separate credit card that was already paid off by this time, ma'am.
Was anything that was taken by the defendant items that had been purchased on the credit card?
No, ma'am. Basically, the credit card was used for both our children's Christmas and birthdays and things for around the house.
Okay. You haven't convinced me so far, Miss Suggs. All I hear is a lot of excuses. You want to take one last shot?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
When we separated, majority of our furniture that we had accumulated together, we either brought into a relationship or bought while we were together. He kept all of it. I don't have anything to show for that. A few measly pieces of furniture.
Did you ask for anything else?
I wanted more things, but I wasn't in a position to ask because I was by myself. I didn't know how he would react, how he would respond.
Well, then you didn't ask for it. Then you took whatever you said you wanted.
Not only did I have to refurnish an entire apartment, I paid him $1,300, in addition to the fact that at the time we separated, he was making probably twice as much as I was.
All of those are excuses. You were living together as a family. You had a child. Did you have children?
I have a son from a previous marriage that doesn't live with me, but he'd come and visit, ma'am.
Your son would come and visit, and your child lived with you. So you had this credit card that was used for your family. He agreed to pay for half. You agreed to pay for half. And I was right when I said later on, after you made some payments, you had second thoughts.
No, I didn't have second thoughts. All along, I felt like I had been taken advantage of.
You made the deal. Live by it. Stop being a crybaby. You made the deal. That's the deal. Stop having second thoughts about it. How come you didn't have second thoughts and say, you know, I really should give him the entire amount? How come it's always, I have second thoughts, I don't think I'm going to give him anything?
Because I didn't trust that he would leave me alone. I gave him
well,
all
that's
the furniture
unfortunate, madam. You haven't told me any reason why you didn't trust him. Because he had another bad relationship where he ended up on the short end of the stick financially? That was your reason? Miss Suggs, be a grown-up. You made the deal. You live by it. The check will be drawn to the card company, which will clear your credit, sir, of $2,481.65. That's all. Step out.
As I excuse, you may step out.
I'm just glad to see it's all over with and I won't have to deal with it anymore.
It wasn't really too bad until, like I said, in March when she decided to stop making payments. Everything was going okay until then.
I felt like I was taken advantage of, and I still do.
She needed to find herself and move on, and I guess I wasn't in the picture.
39-year-old custodial worker Carlissa Jackson and her son, 12-year-old Joel. Austin claims Joel punched him in the face twice, breaking his nose.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 516 on the calendar in the matter of Thomas versus Jackson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Ms. Thomas, it is your claim that the defendant...
Trying hard to concentrate. When you walked through the silence and sealed my sudden fate, you sat across the table, not a word was meant for me. Just the soft, quick rhythm of your simple honesty. Your fingers drum the sugar packet, a syncopated sound. Sweetest interruption that I'd ever found. It's a cafe conversation held between two separate minds. quiet, nervous dance of the kind the heart always finds. The music's in the background, the bossa nova beat. And suddenly the ordinary feels perfectly complete. We trade a glance, a question mark, a subtle nervous blush. This gentle, sweet beginning in the afternoon rush.
I said, take me to him. Take me to him right now. And I said, so you're the one who broke my son's nose. And he said,
You asked about the weather, a typical mistake.
like I would bother his game of basketball when he just broke my son's nose. I said, so what, you just are going to break my son's nose and act like it's nothing? He's like, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stand out here and argue with a bunch of kids. So I went home, I picked up the phone, I called 911. The cops came out, took him home to his cousin. I had him delivered in a cop car.
Now I'll hear from you.
At first I was walking home from school, and then my best friend asked me if I want to play basketball. So we was over his house playing basketball. His sister Tyra told him that some little boy around the corner was messing with her. So we went around the corner, and as was about to fight him, I stepped in the middle and I told him not to hit him. Then he was talking stuff, and he called
Who's he was talking stuff?
Austin.
Did you know him from before?
No, never seen this.
So what kind of stuff was he talking?
He was like, I'm not scared of him, I'm not scared of him. And then he called me a B, and then I just took off my jacket and I hit him twice.
Do you think that's okay?
If I felt like if I wouldn't have hit him, then he would have hit me.
But he didn't hit you.
I felt like he was about to.
What made you think he was about to hit you?
Because the way he looked at me.
The way he looked at you?
The way he looked at me.
Now, after you hit him twice in the nose, you went back to play basketball.
Yes.
And then his mother came up to you. She just told me that you cursed at her.
No.
Yes, you did.
Well, she was cussing at me. She actually threatened me.
Well, how did she threaten you?
She said she would get a 15 or 16-year-old on me, and she said she'll kill me. That's when she stepped down the street like she was going to hit me, but my best friend, he stepped in front of me and told her to go on because she's not hitting me.
You have a police report?
Yes, I do.
Were you arrested?
Well, taken home, yeah.
After you were taken home, did you have to appear in juvenile court?
No.
Why didn't you press charges against him?
I did press charges, Your Honor, but they were telling me even if I filed and received a misdemeanor on him for the assault charges, the only pain and suffering or anything that I could get was $300.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about teaching him a lesson. How many times have you been in a police car?
Just twice.
When before that were you in a police car?
Some little kids was busting windows, and they mistakenly put me in the police car on accident, and it wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No.
Let me see your bills.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Yes.
You know, and also when Austin had, after he had broke his nose, he told my son, he said to everybody in the neighborhood, he kept saying, well, that's what the white boy gets. That's what the white boy gets, you know. And my son, granted, he is light-skinned, but I don't care what shade you are, you know what I mean? This isn't about what color you are. It's about violating my child.
Absolutely right.
So that was another thing, because they think he's a white boy, and he's not just a white boy.
No, he's a boy.
Right, exactly.
He's a boy. What?
I don't feel like it's a racial thing here because my son is not racist, not at all.
He may not be, but he certainly has a little bit of a violent tendency.
I mean, that's all kids is like that. When you're
all kids aren't like that.
He was.
All kids aren't
he
like
was
that.
cursing too.
Cursing is one thing. Listen to me.
Uh-huh.
Your son went up to him, came around the corner, came up to him, and hit him in the face because he didn't like the way he looked at him, according to him.
No.
He looked as if he might be going to hit him, so he hit him first, twice. But he went looking for him. He came around the corner, and before he even found out what was going on, I mean, I read his answer. His answer was he was protecting some little girl that he thought he was teasing. He was in a confrontation with another friend. That's a lot of baloney. He came around the corner, and he hit him twice. And he's responsible. He's responsible for his broken nose. He's responsible for all the medical bills, and he's responsible for pain and suffering. He's responsible for that.
I understand that.
What? You want to say something, sir?
Yes. Your Honor, when I received the phone call from my wife that the incident had taken place, I rushed home. During the time that my wife was filing a report, she had noticed that two of the young men that were at the scene were walking by snickering. And so I asked them to come here, and I asked him, I said, you know what, I want to know which one of you two were the one calling my wife out of her name. And they began to tell me that Joe is one of the kids in the neighborhood that he thinks he has to go for bad or whatnot. He has to prove something to himself. And that the girls that he accuses my son of making fun of, we have written testimonies from the young ladies. They warned Austin to run because they knew that Joe was going to go up to him and fight him for no reason at all. I asked the police officer to make sure his mother calls us. She wanted to know what happened, and she explained to me that, you know, it doesn't surprise her that her son, you know, might have did this, but she wanted to hear both. She wanted to hear both sides of the story. She is well aware that Joe is one way with her and another way out in the neighborhood, and she can't understand why he acts that way because her other children, her other young boys, don't act that way.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 10-year-old Austin Saffel says neighbor 12-year-old Joel Jackson punched him in the face and broke his nose. Joel says he thought Austin was going to hit him first.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I spoke to her one time as Austin's mother. She informed me that she wants to hurry up and get the court situation over with. And I just hung up on her. I flat out hung up on her. You know, how are you going to call me and tell me that we need to hurry up and get this over with? Well, so would I, but I have to go to an ENT for my son's nose. His nose has to be broke now 2 times because he has a lump coming out of the side of his nose. You know, hello, this doesn't end for me just because I go to court.
So you have to do additional medical procedures other than the $2,059 that you've already spent.
Yes, it's $85 just for us to show our face into the ENT clinic.
Could you step up, please? I want to take a look at your nose. Where is it broken?
It's broke right down here, right in here.
Mm-hmm. You have any medical report in your file?
Yes, I do.
Can I see? Step back to your folks, please. Do you have any other report with regard to the procedure for re-breaking his nose and resetting it?
I asked them what it will cost for Austin's nose. They said every nose varies. Some noses run $1,000, some runs $500. They just don't know until they see it.
Well, right now you have about $2,100 in out-of-pocket expenses just for his medical visits.